Hi guys, have you ever watched a police show and you heard when someone was getting arrested? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. So, my name is Justin Prentice, and that's going to be the topic I'm covering. And the police reading you those rights, those are called Miranda rights. So, I'm going to cover three main points today. What are Miranda rights? The parts to Miranda rights, in the history of Miranda rights are more of Miranda versus Arizona, which that's where the Miranda rights stem from. So to start, the Miranda rights are, according to Roger from Everyone Knows Their Miranda Rights, is it protects people who are suspected of crime from self-incriminating. So, in more advanced terms, according to Roger, it's the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. The Fifth Amendment is protecting you from government overreach, and that's in any body, but in this case, it'd be the police force. And then the Sixth Amendment protects you when you're suspected of a crime, you have rights as well, just like everyone else. So, according to Roger, like he said, the Miranda rights is to help people not self-incriminate themselves. Now, to go forward more, I'm going to discuss the parts of the Miranda rights. So, as I said previously, there's many parts, but it starts off with you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. So, according to Roger, from the general knowledge and misknowledge of the Miranda rights, the first part is the right to remain silent. So when you have the right to remain silent, if you do remain silent when there is an interrogation or the investigation, that can't be used against you in the case. You being silent is not an admission of guilt. To continue, Roger also says that there are risks to talking, and that's where it can and will be used against you in a court of law. So a lot of times these are dismissed if there are, conversations taken from before people meet with counsel or an attorney, but they can sometimes be used in the case of, and especially if their Miranda rights had been read to them and they do say that they understand their rights. To continue, Roger also explains you have the right to counsel. So there's three parts mainly to this. You have the right to consult an attorney, you have the right to client and attorney privilege, and you have the right to meet with an attorney before an interrogation. So again, you have the right to an attorney or right to counsel. So before you talk about anything, they say you have the right to talk to an attorney or a lawyer. You also have the right to client privilege, and you have the right, again, before an interrogation, to talk to an attorney. The next part that Roger talks about is free legal services. So it says if you can't afford one, one will be appointed. A lot of people, there is a misconception here, and Roger explains it, that people believe that even though one's appointed to you, and let's say you can't afford it, there is still some way you're going to have to pay for said attorney, which is not true. When they give you a state-appointed attorney, it is free. So, to continue on with that, I'm going to now go over Miranda versus Arizona. So to start, Camazar says that Ernest Miranda, on March 13th of 1963, was arrested, and then he proceeded to confess to kidnap and raping of somebody, and he was then later convicted. So Camazar explains to in the case that, and this is from Camazar, Miranda, the case, the man, and the players, that the lawyer then went on to the defense to say that Miranda did not understand his rights going into the interrogation and the investigation, and that is why he confessed, even if he was guilty or not. So then Camazar also proceeds to explain that this was just one case of many. There was other legal precedents occurring at the same time with Messiah and Escobar. Those were two other cases very similar. It was that the people in it didn't understand the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. So they confessed to crimes, or were later, they somehow said something that got them convicted of a said crime. But all of these cases led to there being the Miranda rights, because people did not understand they had the right to remain silent, the right to have counsel, the right to, and that there are risks to talking. So, to proceed on forward, there was a lasting impact with the said Miranda rights. Leo, from questioning the relevance of Miranda rights in the 20th century, says that now police have to change the way they investigated since the 1963 or so. But Leo also explains that many cases do have the Miranda rights application to them. Based on the case, some crimes the Miranda rights don't have to be read and you don't get the same rights. But there's a lot of cases that the Miranda rights do stand true for. Leo also goes on to explain that there are now fewer convictions and more when there is a appeal, there's overturned convictions. That is because that now people are again using the fact that they didn't understand their Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights, so they do now appeal more. There are now more plea bargains as well. Plea bargains now, according to Leo. Leo did say that plea bargains are more happening because there are less confessions. So a lot of times they will try to bargain down to a lesser degree. So to go over the points again, there are many parts to the Miranda rights, including, the right to remain silent and the right to counsel. There was a lasting impact on both the legal system and how police have to investigate. And I hope you now understand a little bit more of what the Miranda rights are and hopefully what your Miranda rights are. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.